Boring! SmackDown is fucking boring! Show sucks! Show is abysmal. It is... largely a waste of 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. Largely a waste of 3 hours. Did anything happen on this show tonight that got you excited about anything? No? I'm trying to find something that at least tickles me going into Clash in Italy. No, but you could pay $12,000 to go take a pasta class with Danhausen. At least Tony Khan and Dynamite have some company for the worst show of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try and talk about what happened tonight. We're going to the venue. I may need 2 extra cherries in my old-fashioned. We're going to the venue inside my mother's basement in my actual car. And when I get there on this Friday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? Unfortunately, I'll see you over there. It also isn't about excuses. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters. Long-term booking. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Friday Night SmackDown post-show for May 15th, 2026. I'm your host, JD, from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Friday evening, wherever you may be. You know, I don't really have the energy to seemingly repeat myself week over week over week, it really accomplishes nothing. It doesn't do anything for anybody. It doesn't do me good. It doesn't do my voice good. I think everybody knows that SmackDown is fucking terrible. If you think this show is even remotely good, you need to get your fucking head examined by the highest paid medical professionals money can buy. This isn't even pro wrestling at this point. It's an abysmal piece of shit. I fucking hate this show. I hate this show with the fire of 1,000 suns. I fucking hate this show. This show sucks. There's nothing about this show that's even remotely interesting. There's nothing about this show that harbors any excitement. There's nothing about this show or nobody on this show that I genuinely give a shit about to see on a week-to-week basis. The show fucking sucks! And they're not even trying! They're not even trying. The show sucks so bad that The Miz came out tonight and referenced Sesame Street and Big Bird in his promo. Either they're listening to me rant about how terrible their program is and laughing while I rant about it, or they're genuinely throwing it in their fans' face, knowing that the show sucks, revealing the truth within. The Miz says that SmackDown has become more like Sesame Street. What's next? Is Big Bird going to show up on the show? Bro, what are you trying to tell me about SmackDown or WWE as a whole in general? Big Bird might actually add some character and charisma to this fucking show if they wanted to book him on this. They're basically throwing it in your face, telling you the show sucks, and they're mocking you while laughing about it. It's exactly what that promo, or the point in that promo that The Miz spoke today to Trick Williams, that's what that set out to accomplish. Yes, they are breaking the fourth wall. Yes. Telling you exactly how they feel about their own program, telling you exactly what their program is without actually saying it themselves. That was basically a shoot by The Miz. You would think that after the funeral they would get better, but they largely did nothing of importance tonight. And the show continues on a downward spiral going into Clash in Italy, which, by the way, I am not excited about whatsoever. There's nothing about Clash in Italy that even has me remotely excited. I mean, you can fly me to Turn. I'll have a great time away from WWE. But the product itself being in Turn, I don't know how anybody could validate spending those ticket prices and sitting there to watch this fucking awful slop that they've given us. SmackDown tonight. The best thing about SmackDown that we got a soft confirmation on is that June 5th, Braun Strowman returns with his Eat Everything show. Strowman Eats Everything. June 5th. That's a Friday. That's legitimately coming up in about 3 weeks. So in 3 weeks, SmackDown will be reverting back to 2 hours. Cutting the show by an hour will not save this show from being an abysmal piece of shit. You'd have to fire the whole fucking writing team to save any part of this show whatsoever. SmackDown tonight largely did nothing. The big story, the entertaining story that they had coming into tonight was Gunther, who moved over from Monday Night Raw to Friday Night SmackDown because of a Paul Heyman favor. He wanted to be very far away from Monday Night Raw and wanted to be on Friday night. Now, I don't know if Gunther is that fucking stupid, but maybe they coerced him with some more monies to come on over to Friday night, because I don't know how anybody would realistically, willingly want to be on SmackDown. So the big story was him coming over from Monday Night Raw in recent weeks for a spot on Friday Night SmackDown, and this was the favor that Paul Heyman supposedly owed him. He went to Heyman. He wanted to move to SmackDown. Heyman facilitated this move, and with this move comes a WWE Championship opportunity against Cody Rhodes, because Randy Orton seemingly is out with an injury. So instead of moving on to Randy and Cody without the celebrity involvement, like we deserve, we're getting Cody and Gunther. Now, Gunther has not signed the contract. He has not signed the contract for the WWE Championship opportunity that he asked for. He's waited and waited and waited, and maybe he's contemplating his decision. He realizes that if he signs the dotted line, that he is now giving his life to Friday night. And who, honestly, would want to do that in 2026, seeing how terrible this show is? That's the only logical explanation I have for why he hasn't signed the contract. But he waffled again and did not sign the contract. So someone came out that would. And that someone was Royce Keys, the former powerhouse Hobbs in AEW. Now I look at this and I'm like, all right, WWE obviously has a lot of investment in Royce Keys. They gave him several minutes of television showing clips of his appearance on the Stephanie McMahon podcast, giving his story and gaining sympathy points from the fan base on how rough of an upbringing he had living in Oakland in California. All that said, he wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which does nothing for anybody's career. Don't let them fool you. And he comes out to basically non-existent reactions. And they gave him a tagline or a gimmick of saying, "Aight." After everything everybody says, he says, "Aight." A-I-G-H-T, aight. That seemingly has not gotten over, as I'm sure you can see why. I get that WWE has a lot of investment in Royce Keys. They want to make him into a big deal. They think putting him in the ring with Cody Rhodes, or at least teasing it, is going to get some brownie points from the fan base. But chat, let's be real. Royce Keys and the experiment of Royce Keys has not gone well. He's mixing it up with Solo Sikoa. He's in these promo packages with Jacob Fatu and the Bloodline, and he's got these interactions with Fatu based on their history, and Solo Sikoa with his history. He's apparently known them up and down the West Coast indie scene for 10 to 15 years, 20 years, whatever it may be. That's not going to get him over in the eyes of this fan base. There's nothing about Royce Keys as far as how WWE has presented him that makes me want to say, I'm excited to see Royce Keys. Or I want to see more of Royce Keys. Royce Keys is just another name on a roster of talented men and women that is being spearheaded by a creative team that's fucking clueless. No wonder Royce Keys is not over. Cody's not going to help Royce Keys. Gunther in the main event tonight's not going to help Royce Keys. If there's not a connection with the audience, or if they don't believe you enough to cheer and get behind you, then it's not going to work. WWE seemingly started out trying to automatically jam the sympathy pill down your throat in regards to Royce Keys instead of letting it build organically. He said this to Stephanie McMahon. He did not say this in front of a live audience. That's mistake number one. How over do you want Royce Keys to be? How sympathetic do you want the fans to be to Royce Keys when basically the majority of what they've consumed from Royce Keys has been in a fucking vignette or video package highlighting his appearance on a Stephanie McMahon podcast? Which I'm assuming half the audience probably never listened to. Yet you want this fan base to be like, oh man, I feel so bad for Royce Keys, man. I gotta cheer him now. If you don't hear these things from the man himself, and he isn't directly speaking to you, nobody gives a shit. Point blank, period, 100%, fact. You can put him in the ring with fucking Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, and you can do all these extra things to try and get him over. There's nothing about him that the fans really know. There's nothing about him that stands out. There's nothing about him that's exciting, and you want me to buy in because of his story that he spewed to Stephanie McMahon. Not going to work. So putting Royce Keys in the main event, I could see some of the Fed bots online saying, well, how you going to get him over on the main roster if he doesn't work with top talent, JD? I would rather see him come out and express himself like a human being and work his way from the bottom to the top. What has he done on this show that warrants a match with Gunther? What has he done on this show in any capacity where he actually deserves to walk down the aisle, grab a pen, and sign a contract for a major PLE main event with Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship? Again, all these things don't really add up, and all these things are not going to get him over in the eyes of the audience. You can put him in there with Gunther. What did it do at the end of the day? You jobbed him out to Gunther, who was always going to be the guy to wrestle Cody Rhodes in 3 weeks at Clash in Italy. So you want him to get over, which he didn't. You put him in a position that he didn't deserve. He didn't. And you put him in the main event to lose to Gunther. Strike one, strike two, strike three. You're out. And if someone tells you that this appearance in the main event tonight worked for Royce Keys, I want you to go listen to his reaction next week when he gets the same non-existent reaction because he's feuding with the fucking MFTs. I'd love for someone to tell me when I'm telling any sort of lie here. Bookmark it. Nobody gives a fuck. That's the major story. That's what transpired tonight. Gunther didn't want to sign a contract. Royce Keys wanted to sign the contract undeservedly for the main event of Clash in Italy in Turin. Gunther said, no, I can't wrestle this guy. This is my opportunity. I worked this favor with Paul Heyman. Nick Aldis said, well, you gave that up by not signing the contract. Now you got to work for it. Main event. And he's got to wrestle Royce Keys for the number one contender. Exhilarating stuff, chat. Exhilarating content from WWE. Elsewhere on this show, we got 2 women's tag team matches. That's all I could say about that. We got a Jade Cargill promo that also got booed out of the building because she fucking sucks. We got Carmelo Hayes back on the show. That's a plus. We love Carmelo Hayes. Trick Williams, we love Trick Williams. He's on the show. Major superstar reaction. He wrestled The Miz in the opening segment. Danhausen was on the show in one segment. I guess they heard the criticisms of too much Danhausen, huh? Danhausen apparently is working on a new science experiment this time quite larger than the last. Ray Phoenix is seemingly still begging for television time and opportunity. Sami Zayn wants another shot at the United States Championship, and he's trying to convince Johnny Gargano that he's still Johnny Wrestling, and where did all the wrestling go on this show? What happened to the days of working and wrestling and showing that through your work? I don't know, Sammy. I would love to know, too. I would love to know, too. As he promptly said, this show, this place doesn't feel the same anymore. We're going to dive into this SmackDown tonight. Another 3 hours of an absolutely boring and insufferable program from good old Triple GPT, Paul Levesque himself. We'll get into it tonight. This is your SmackDown review right here on Off the Script for your May 15th, 2026. Tonight we are sponsored by my great friends over at Hims. Make sure you guys check them out. We'll talk about my friends over at Hims a little bit later on in the show. Hims.com/scripts. You guys are trying to get back in shape before SummerSlam season? Check out Weight Loss by Hims at hims.com/scripts. Personalized plans, fully online, no nonsense. We'll talk about them a little bit later on right here on tonight's show. Want to thank everybody for the support this week. Very good week of content as we round out the week here. We were live on Monday. We had a great stream on Monday for Raw. Another boring show. Tuesday night, there was no show. We did Tuesday morning with the coach, but there was no show on Tuesday night. I was at the Alter Bridge concert on Long Island at the Paramount Theater. Excellent show as always. My 10th time watching them live. Unbelievable. Tuesday Night Titans aired last night. So if you guys are wondering where Tuesday Night Titans was, it is on the homepage. Jason and I were live for over 3 hours. We talked about legitimately everything that you needed to know this week. John Cena Classic, the news on Mick Foley and AEW. We broke down the men's and women's Owen Hart brackets that were announced on Dynamite. Whole bunch of shit. We talked Backlash. So go check all that out. If you guys are wondering where Tuesday Night Titans was this week, we were Thursday Night Titans. TNT 146 on the homepage right now. We aired it live last night at 8:30, so go check that out. I should have some content this weekend. Gonna try and do some extra work this weekend for you guys. Get some videos in the sub boxes, just rounding out some of the news. Again, I thank you for a great week. If you want to support, Super Chats are open. Best way to do that. Best way to do that. Questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, opinions. Let me know what you thought of SmackDown. Everything you want to ask in the Super Chat. So get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. Also, other ways you can support. Thumbs up. Leave a thumbs up. Let's try for 800 likes. The goal tonight for this SmackDown post show. Leave a comment. Always helps us out. So make sure you guys leave a comment down in the comment section where you guys can become a member, which is also a great way to support the show. Another way to support is going to buy a new t-shirt. Unapologetically Authentic. The new design by my guy Salrex. Now available at fourthwall.com. Link is down in the description. We've sold a decent number of these. You guys seem to love this design. So let's get this shirt on some more people, man. I'd love to see this out and about at some of these shows. It's a great design. So make sure you guys go and check them out. Fourthwall.com. New merchandise right here for the podcast on Off the Scripts. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below, and please turn on that bell for all notifications. Let's get into this show tonight, man. SmackDown started things off with Trick Williams' championship celebration. I love how the creative minds of WWE work with their champions. Everything, after every successful PLE or pay-per-view title defense, everybody needs a fucking championship celebration. I don't know why, but that's what WWE does. So, Trick is out there, and he's got the hometown pop being in South Carolina. His mother and father are outside, sitting front row. He gets in the ring. He tells the mic guy, the PA guy, to cut the music. Straight out of South Carolina and don't know how to act, Trick Willie is back to Columbia, South Carolina. I love that. Representing W.J. Keenan High School. Representing the University of South Carolina Gamecocks. I grew up right here on these streets. I remember driving up Trick Notch Road. That's right. Cutting that right to my favorite restaurant, Kiki's Trick and Waffles. But look here, Yachty. You got to understand, I would go there and I would get the special. So Yachty asks him what the special is. That special sauce. The sauce so good, the chicken wings so good, you got to eat them while you're standing up. And old Trick Willie would get those wings. And don't forget, I'm a big guy, 6'5", 250 pounds. I would bite into that chicken wing and the sauce would drip down all the way past my 3 chains, past these 8 abs, onto my 2 shoes. And I said, oh no. For this first day and forevermore, these shoes would be called the Lemon Pepper Steppers. Let's talk about it. Playing for the Gamecocks. I had a lot of good days. I also had some not so good days. But my family is here. My mama told me, boy, you are a king created by God Almighty. Never forget who you are or who's your trick. They can't break you. So to Columbia, South Carolina, to J.W. Keenan, to Kiki's Trick and Waffles, to the Gamecocks, to Mama, look at the star you've created. Out comes The Miz. Out comes The Miz. Oh my gosh, it's a homecoming. You even brought out Cocky, the mascot. Last week, it was the gingerbread man. Trick, your whole career is starting to look like rejected mascots from my daughter's birthday party. Is this WWE or Sesame Street? This is a legitimate line. What's next? Is Big Bird going to come on out? And people say they have trouble taking me seriously. See, that's your problem right there, coming out here interrupting and disrespecting Trick Williams on Trick Williams' homecoming in Trick Williams' hometown of Columbia, South Carolina, with all of Trick Williams' friends and family. Y'all got some nerve. That's the reason why you got beat up by all those mini-housens. And that's the reason why y'all cursed. Miz went on to say he's not cursed. Kit Wilson then yells, "Wake up." You're clearly not understanding what the master is saying. So maybe I would speak to you in a language that you can understand. Some slam poetry by Kit Willie. Chat. This is legit dialogue on Friday Night SmackDown. Mind you, on Friday Night SmackDown, in the opening segment, following last week's disaster. You wouldn't last a day on the streets where I grew up. Kit from Buckinghamshire, England, is lyrically going to mess you up. Trick and Yachty, well, you're two obnoxious folk. That's 2 egos the Miz will never stroke. This town is filled with bros and nasty jocks, only to be united by their love of their toxic Gamecocks. So Lil Yachty had to obviously rap back to Kit Willie. On your tombstone, it will read Kit Wilson, better known for assisting The Miz. On your tombstone, it will read Kit Wilson, better known for assisting The Miz. I already completed showbiz. I really don't know who you is. But that tan, that too yella, like the road on the whiz. Y'all ain't handsome as we is, and that's the reason y'all sick. It would be a shame if we show Columbia how to whoop that trick. I'm a diamond platinum artist. I've done it all. They mad we came out with cocky because Miz has got tiny balls. Miz went on to yell that when my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. We're not bringing tiny balls back. There is no curse. I want to get out of this dumpster fire of a city with your chicken gamecock. If I lived here, I would volunteer to move to Tennessee. So get a referee out here right now in this ring because I'm going to whoop your ass in front of your mama. Bro, I would be floored. I would legitimately be floored if this promo wasn't spit out via Chat GPT. Everything outside of maybe Lil Yachty, I could see that he maybe wrote those lyrics and those rhymes. But this is awful. Everything about this is awful. Trick Williams is such a fucking superstar in the making. And we got him mixing it up with fucking Gamecocks and The Miz and Gingerbread Men. And, bro, this shit is awful. I would volunteer anybody to go to fucking Tennessee as long as it's far away from this fucking hideous program. We kick things off with this non-title United States Championship match. Nothing about it was remotely interesting. We're still trying with The Miz in 2026, huh? One of the reasons why this show feels so lame and so same old shit is because we have characters like The Miz on the show who do nothing but these comedy skits. Nothing that The Miz does is anything that we're supposed to take seriously. So he's just another comedy gimmick, half-hearted comedy gimmick, geek on the show, and you're adding him to the pool of geeks that are already existing on this show. I'm genuinely curious to see how much of this shit they scale back when they go back to 2 hours. So Miz was in control here. Miz missed a big boot. Williams gets a jumping neck breaker on the Miz, followed by the shots in the corner with the, now they're going to start using it, the big boots in the corner. Stomping a mud hole in the Miz with everybody chanting, whoop that trick. The whoop that stomps. Miz got out of the way of a big running boot by Trick Williams. Threw him around the barricades outside behind the referee's back. Kit Wilson takes out Trick Williams with a running elbow behind the referee's back. Miz finally connected with a rope-assisted sliding drop kick. And Miz is now talking trash to Lil Yachty on the outside. So we come back from a commercial break, and Trick Williams is fighting back. He gets the advantage. Big body slam by Trick, followed by a bookend for a near fall. Miz went for Williams' eyes and almost had a skull-crushing finale. He did not hit it, but he hit his big DDT on Trick for a 2 count. Miz went for his it kicks. He missed the last one like he usually does. Trick turned it into a pin attempt. Williams dropped Miz with a flapjack. Kit Wilson pulled at the foot of Trick Williams as Miz eventually hit a skull-crushing finale off this minor interference. Trick kicked out at a 2. Wilson again tried to distract the referee. Miz went to go grab a kendo stick underneath. I swear to God, I thought when he looked underneath the ring tonight that we were going to see another Minihausen or a Danhausen. We did not. Looks like Danhausen might be done with the Miz. So the Miz went to grab a kendo stick. Lil Yachty comes on over, takes the kendo stick from the Miz. He blasted Kit Wilson with the kendo stick. Meanwhile, this distracted the Miz enough for Trick Williams to finish the Miz off with his trick shot. 1, 2, 3, and Trick Williams wins. The only thing about this that I actually enjoyed is how over Trick Williams was. It was legitimately like he won the world fucking title. Everybody in South Carolina was waving the white towels and chanting, "Whoop that trick." From that aspect, it was a very, very infectious environment. And I love when someone is that over because you're legitimately watching the next superstar in the making, the next face of this company. Other than that, this was largely a waste of time. It did nothing for The Miz. It did nothing for Trick. And all it did was prove that WWE is just stuck in this fucking cheap, campy comedy vortex of bullshit. And after coming out of the Gingerbread Man and the Mini-Housens, the way that they needed to start this show was not with more campy comedy, letting you know that this show basically is turned into fucking Sesame Street. Shoot. Backstage, Carmelo Hayes was interviewed about his match with Ricky Saints. I felt like this would have been a good match just based off both of their in-ring styles. And it's also nice to see Carmelo Hayes back on Friday Night SmackDown. So Kathy Kelly asked him what his mindset was going into this match with Ricky Saints. Melo wants to address the elephant in the room, he says. Obviously, he says he's been gone for a month, but he's been watching guys like Trick Williams and Sami Zayn make a mockery out of the United States Championship that he took so much pride in restoring to its prestige. He says he's been hearing the "We Want Melo" chants. When Melo shoots, he don't miss. And I'm shooting for that United States Championship. Let's talk about it. So clearly, we could be setting up for Trick and Melo at some point. When, where, I don't know. If it's not at SummerSlam, I don't know when we do it. Ricky Saints comes on in and interrupts. He wants to talk about the fact that he hasn't gotten a formal hello from Melo yet. Melo knows exactly who Ricky is. Saints went on to say that since Melo has been on vacation, the world is entirely different. There's new tenants in the building. Melo says that when it comes to the ring, he's the landlord and rent is due for Ricky Saints. Again, I would not be surprised if the dialogue written here was spit out by ChatGPT. None of it sounds genuine or organic. Ricky says that Melo could ask Nick Aldis and Cody Rhodes about him. Melo says that this is the place, where sometimes it has a funny way of humbling people like Ricky Saints. It's humbled him. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but it's going to be one day. And that is what I call absolute. Ricky says he doesn't need Melo's advice. Melo needs an absolute lesson, and the best teacher is standing right in front of him, and his name is Ricky Saints. Melo then mumbled under his breath and says that Ricky is like looking at a dirty mirror. Nick Aldis. He's talking to Ray Phoenix. Apparently, Ray Phoenix is very disgruntled about his current standing on the Friday Night SmackDown program. So much so that Penta tweeted about the Intercontinental title match that he and Ethan Page are having at Saturday Night's main event next Saturday. And Ray Phoenix says, I would also like an opportunity. We would love to see you get that opportunity, but apparently they don't know how to fucking book Ray Phoenix. He went from Guantanamo Bay to Alcatraz. One jail system to the other. Which has better accommodations is what I want to know. Nick Aldis says he's been very impressed with Rey Fenix's recent performances down in AAA. Phoenix tells Nick Aldis that he has his eyes on something big. What would that be, Rey Fenix? They shake hands. Nick tells Rey Fenix that he's looking forward to it. Sami Zayn appears. He says he's ashamed of himself. He did things during his match at Backlash with Trick Williams that was completely out of character for him. Sami feels like the pressure of everybody telling him that he needs to be different, the pressure of people treating him differently, it got the best of him. It was a true wake-up call, and Sami needs to go back to who he is. What exactly is that? Maybe he rejoins the bloodline. Did you guys see Jey Uso's Instagram story tonight? He basically said to Sami Zayn, no one's listening over there. No one's listening over there. I'm genuinely curious if they really are going to get back the original bloodline, including the honorary Uso. Or maybe it was just Jey Uso having a fine evening with his lady, having a couple of libations. And he was watching SmackDown and decided to Instagram story Sami Zayn. I don't know. Sami feels like the pressure of everybody telling him that he needs to be different, the pressure of people treating him differently, got the best of him. Sami tells Nick that he wants one more rematch for the United States title to do things the right way. Nick says, well, Sami, I appreciate that sentiment. You just had your rematch, and you know what comes next. You have to earn another shot at the United States title. Sami says Nick should consider his resume. Why is everyone here so quick to forget who Sami Zayn is? You know who hasn't forgot? My ride or die fans. And he points out to the venue. All Sami is looking to do is redeem himself for his fans. Nick says that everyone knows how good Sami Zayn is, but clearly Sami is dealing with some stuff. You should go focus on that. Handle your problems. Because right now, all I'm getting from you, Sami, is entitlement. Phoenix comes back into the segment. He tries to calm Sami Zayn down after Nick Aldis walked away. Sami continues to blame everybody for his problems. Phoenix is yelling, tranquilo, tranquilo. He says that he doesn't even recognize Sami anymore. So he walks away. And Sami starts yelling, hombre, hombre. Kathy Kelly. She was backstage with Paige and Brie Bella. How do they feel about the targets being on their back, getting bigger and bigger now that the women's tag team champions? I don't know. Maybe we'd have to actually give a shit about Brie Bella and Paige to wonder and worry about the targets that are on their back. Brie says that they love how competitive the division is, but holding these titles, it feels like you're in a Shark Tank. They were dealing with Fatal Influence last week. They got Julia and Kiana James tonight. And then on Monday, on Raw, they're defending their titles against the Judgment Day. Paige says that it's taken them years to get these women's tag team titles, and they refuse to let them go that easy. Unfortunately, Nia Jax and Lash Legend show up. Nia says that they're actually rooting for Paige and Brie tonight. Paige and Brie says they're not buying it. Lash then says they're going to get their women's tag team titles back at Saturday night's main event. You know, I was hoping that that show would actually be good. But clearly it's not. So Nia was going to say something. She got cut off by Brie Bella's entrance music, and they walk out to the ring to defend their titles against Julia and Kiana James. This was all about Julia and Kiana James. It looks like we may be headed towards Splitsville between these two, and it can't come soon enough because I think Kiana's great, and Julia needs to just find something else to do and get over on her own. This gimmick, this act with Kiana has not done a single fucking thing for either woman. This is long overdue to split them up. To say this was rough is an understatement. Julia, she had Paige set up. Paige fought back, turned it into a sunset flip powerbomb, whatever Julia was going for. Paige struggled to get to Brie to make the tag. Brie eventually got the hot tag. She turned on Brie mode. I would love to see beer mode, but we have to settle for Brie. She took out James and Julia with knee strikes. Brie then hit them with the yes kicks, followed by the Bella Buster on Kiana. Julia broke up the cover. She got thrown out of the ring. Tagged by Julia as James hit Brie with a lung blower, followed by a Northern Lights bomb from Julia. Paige broke up the count. Kiana accidentally sent a running Paige into Julia, which took her out of the match. Paige finished off the match with Rampage. 1, 2, 3. Wow. Breathtaking stuff here, chat. Breathtaking. I mean, if you missed this match, man, you missed one hell of a classic. 6 stars tomorrow morning in The Observer. Tiffany Stratton was interviewed about how the women's division had strong alliances all around and where she fits in. All of a sudden, you see Julia and Kiana James bickering in the background about their loss. So like I said, we're headed towards Splitsville. Can't come soon enough. Tiffany Stratton noted that she was doing well enough. Chelsea Green interrupted her. Green tried to get Stratton to be on her team and once again got largely ignored. Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Royce Keys. We should have gotten Gunther signing the contract, but once again, he waffled and wasted time. He was very indecisive about what he wanted to do. He knew if he put his name to paper that he may be banished to SmackDown for God knows how long. So Cody Rhodes comes out, does his typical, what do you want to talk about? I have all the formal ingredients for a contract signing. That's what we got here. A contract for Gunther to come to SmackDown. A contract for a WWE Championship match at Clash in Italy. And that's what we're going to do, folks, right here, right now. Well, at least this was a better produced contract signing than the one we got on Dynamite, where we had to see Darby Allin wrestle Konosuke Takeshita for 20 minutes. And then after the match was over, he was breathing so heavily he couldn't even fucking function correctly while spitting up blood and a mixture of fucking saliva at the same time. While the stagehands brought in the contract signing table and chairs and contract itself legitimately after the match was over while we were live on television. Gunther comes on out. Hey, Cody, do you know how much time and work it took to set up the deal? Do you know how much strategic planning, how much foresight, how much negotiation went into all this? How long, Gunther? How long did it take, Big Gunth? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe? This guy's actually speaking as if it took 6 months to make this deal happen. I mean, we're talking the roster transfer, the best wrestler in the WWE, and still, you find a way to make it all about yourself, just like a typical American. I mean, and I shouldn't be surprised, I see it on your neck every week. When the attention is not on you, you cry, you complain, and you find a way to make it all about yourself, but not with me. This is my deal, this is my title match, and this will be my title. So, Golden Boy, all I want you to do is be professional. Address me nicely, and don't forget to say please. It's very simple. Cody Rhodes goes on to say, simple, huh? Don't forget that you are the one that got the drop on me. that you are the one who convinced Mr. Heyman to do this favor where you get a title shot that you didn't even earn. And you wouldn't sign in Jacksonville, and now basically you're saying you're not going to sign in Columbia. And I'm the one, yes, I'm the one with the U.S. flag on the side of my neck, sure, but you're the one who's making it weird. So here's the thing. I'm going to make it simple. This is the contract right here. It's in this ring. That's where you need to be, and you need to sign it. You want me to say, please? Sure. Please come to this ring, sign this contract, so that you are guaranteed to get your ass kicked at Clash in Italy. Gunther went on to say, and I laughed at this next line, well, okay, Cody, I noticed it. You said please, but I could really feel like you didn't mean it. So let me help you rephrase it. You need to say, please, Mr. Gunther. And people say he doesn't have a witty sense of character and charisma about him. So Royce Keys' music hits. No reaction. He walks on out. He looks at Gunther. He storms to the ring. And he gets in the ring and says, if you're not going to sign it, I'm going to sign it. I didn't realize this was an open challenge. Royce shoves the microphone into Gunther's chest. Royce makes his way to the ring. Cody gives Royce the pen. Gunther repeatedly snatches the pen away from Royce. Royce shoves Gunther. Nick Aldis comes on out and starts yelling at both of them. Well, this isn't quite the situation we've got, at the start of the evening here. And we see it developing here. Gunther, you're right. This whole process was very simple. That's a contract for a title shot at Clash in Italy. It's supposed to have your signature on it, but you haven't signed it. So as far as I'm concerned, you've overplayed your hand, and now that title shot is up for grabs. So here's what we're going to do. Royce Keys, tonight you will face Gunther right here in Columbia, South Carolina, and the winner of that match will sign on the dotted line and face Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at Clash in Italy. Cody Rhodes then looks at Royce Keys. Hey, I'm proud of you. And you know that we're friends. But I'm going to tell you the same thing that I'm telling everybody else and I'm telling Gunther. I'm easy to find and hard to beat. Still don't know what Royce Keys did that they allowed him to walk out there and just sign a fucking blank contract for a shot at the WWE Championship at the next PLE. But what the fuck do I know? What the fuck do I know? I said what I said about Royce Keys. Don't need to repeat it. He hasn't done anything to deserve it. And WWE, obviously, they have this investment in him. They really haven't done what they've needed to do to get him off of his feet in the first few weeks that he's showed his face on Friday Night SmackDown. Everything we've seen has been hidden on a video package. We haven't heard from him directly speaking from himself to the audience. We haven't seen that natural baby face from Royce Keys to the fans. As far as I'm concerned, it's all smoke and mirrors. Why would anybody want to invest their time into Royce Keys when they really don't know who Royce Keys is? And Royce Keys hasn't done anything for the fans to believe in Royce Keys. All they see is a big dude who's 300 pounds and is built like a fucking bus. That's all they see. There's nothing else there that makes you want to invest your time in Royce Keys. The MFTs, they were looking at the TV monitor in the back. Solo Sikoa definitely didn't see that one coming with Royce Keys. Solo says they want the tag team titles, but they can wait. Tama Tonga, do you understand the assignment tonight? R-Truth isn't clear, but Damian Priest is still walking around here, so Tama should take him out. Solo tells Tama Tonga that they should have a conversation with Royce Keys. So Solo and Tama Tonga walk off. Shinsuke Nakamura comes out of nowhere and starts talking to Tama Tonga. Shinsuke says that this has gone on for far too long, and he's pretty certain that Tama Tonga has made his decision. He feels that Tama Tonga doesn't want to be associated with the MFTs anymore. Tala attacks Shinsuke from behind. He whips Shinsuke into multiple production crates, and then he chokeslams Shinsuke through a table in the back. Riveting stuff, chat. Riveting. Gunther is arguing with Nick Aldis after what we just saw transpire with Royce Keys and Cody Rhodes. Nick said they had a very simple deal. There was a contract for him to sign. He would join SmackDown, get a shot at the WWE title. Nick Aldis continues to say that Gunther overplayed his hand. Now Gunther is being unprofessional. He's going back on his word. Nick says that maybe Paul Heyman is rubbing off on him. However, what Heyman forgot to tell Gunther is that you don't play games with Nick Aldis. Gunther has overplayed his hand, and now he has to earn title shots. Gunther says that Nick should be grateful that he is now on his roster. Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints. One-on-one match here. I thought this was largely good. There was a moment in the match where it was pretty rough. It was just a whole slew of miscommunications here between Ricky and Carmelo. Bell rang. Hayes was starting the match. Saints attacked him from behind when he was taking his jacket off, was Hayes. Hayes hit some chops in the corner. Saints reversed an Irish whip. Walked the ropes before dropping an old school. He does that little kind of strut on the top rope, does Ricky Saints. Hayes positioned Saints with his head draped over the apron, hit the springboard, backward leg drop, big somersault, flip to the outside. We go into a commercial break. There was a point in the beginning of this match where there was a lot of action going on, and they were kind of faking some moves and trying to get the one-up on each other, and everything just looked completely out of whack. Saints went for a enziguri, it missed, and Hayes went for a drop kick. It looked like it was just off tilt. There was some bad miscommunication on these two. They leveled out, and they made it work towards the end, but that first minute or so, minute and a half or so, was just very sloppy. Hayes hits a frog splash. He hit it so hard he started holding his ribs. He goes for a lazy cover here, only a 2 count. Saints dodge a first 48 attempts, hit a big angle driver, went for a near fall. They do another. It's fucking weird. They went into a commercial. They come back from the commercial. We get about 30 seconds of action, and then we go into another split screen commercial for a fucking movie preview. Like, why? You just got back from commercial, and then within 30 seconds, we get another 30 seconds of a movie preview. You couldn't give me the fucking movie preview during the fucking commercial? It's fucking ridiculous. Hayes rallied with 3 thrust kicks, springboard clothesline, which looked fucking brutal. He fucking nailed him. It's one of Carmelo's specialties. Hayes, he got the crowd behind him. He did his spinning Dirty Diana. He goes for near fall, gets a 2 count. We got some light Let's Go Mellow chants in South Carolina. Hayes reversed a suplex into a small package that rolled a few times and didn't result in really anything. It was just sloppy. Saints hit a huge slam. He went for a cover, another 2 count. Saints tried to lift Hayes up, but he kept falling down to the mat. Saints finally got him up, but Hayes countered with the first 48. Saints kicked out. Hayes jumped off the top rope, but Saints moved and hit his Revolution DDT. So Saints went for the cover and only got a 2 count. Saints thought about what he was doing next. He rammed Hayes' head into the turnbuckle, and he covered while using the ropes for leverage. And he beats Ricky Saints with a cheap leverage pin in about 12 minutes. Carmelo wins 1, 2, 3. Now, Charles Robinson looked like he noticed the cheating here, but he did nothing about it. And I was surprised to see Ricky Saints already lose. He's won his first 2 matches. Melo's back. I guess after a month off, Melo needed the win more than Ricky Saints did. I mean, this does nothing for Ricky Saints to lose this match. Ricky's also another one who's ice cold. Nobody's buying into him. Nobody really knows who he is. Nobody knows what the fuck they need to do when Ricky Saints is out there. All we see is this guy that's full of energy and full of charisma, but we don't know a fucking thing about him. We weren't hyped up for his SmackDown debut. They gave him a fucking graphic debuting next week. How many of these people legitimately know Ricky Saints because they watched NXT? How many of these people realize that Ricky Saints was in AEW? This is basically starting all over again. We need to know why we should care about Ricky Saints. You, me, and everybody else knows exactly how talented Ricky Saints is. We ain't seeing it. The company hasn't done anything to push him a little further. Why am I going to watch the show and care about Ricky Saints on the show? We don't know anything about him. All I know is that he wrestled a good match with Carmelo, largely a good match, minus the botches here and there. Largely a good match with Carmelo Hayes. But I'm going to need more than him just wrestling a good match with Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo wins in 12 minutes. R-Truth. He was backstage with Royce Keys. Truth knows that Royce is preparing for the biggest match of his career, but he wanted to thank him for having their back with the MFTs last week. Truth says they're building a new clubhouse for the Judgment Day. He said Royce should file a new application. Is this the Judgment Day or the Judgment Stay? Maybe Brie Bella kind of leaked what their new gimmick and their new group is going to be. The Judgment Stay. It's like a Ramada Inn. It's like a fucking Sheraton. He wants Royce Keys to fill out an application to join the new Judgment Day. And Truth will help him become a new member. Royce tells Truth that he'll think about it. So Damian Priest walks in. Truth tells Priest that Royce wants to join the new Judgment Day. Priest wants to know what's up with Royce Keys because everybody in the back is getting attacked by the MFTs except for him. He may have earned Truth's respect, but Royce Keys hasn't earned Damian Priest's trust. Priest tells Truth to be careful. He then apologizes, does Truth, for what happened last week. Priest was right, and he should have stayed in the back. Priest says that's not going to be a problem tonight because Truth is not 100% medically cleared. Whatever happens with Priest and Tama Tonga is going to happen, but one way or another, he's certain that Truth will be safe. Truth tells Priest that he loves him, and he's going out to have this match with Tama Tonga. Now, this was supposed to be a tag team match with Damian Priest and R-Truth versus Tama Tonga and JC Mateo. They put JC Mateo in the graphic before SmackDown. JC Mateo was released 2 weeks ago. I would love to know how JC Mateo all of a sudden got hired again to then get fired so quickly before SmackDown started. This company does not take itself to be a serious company. Danhausen, before we go out to this exhilarating contest between Damian Priest and Tama Tonga, Danhausen is knocking over production equipment. He says the Mini-Hausens have gone on vacation. He's in his laboratory. He takes a phone call. He yaps for this phone call for a little bit. It says, don't call this line again. How'd you get this number? Don't call this line again. Danhausen says that the experiment at Backlash was a complete success, and now he's planning to do something bigger for his next project. And he wheels in this gurney, which looks to have a body on it. An adult-sized body covered in a white cloth. And then the segment ends with him banging on his keyboard, pretending to do some scientific experiments. I can say that this was the only segment that Danhausen got on Friday night. And I think that's all we really need to see. Tama Tonga and Damian Priest. They went one-on-one here. Just captivating stuff here, chat. Captivating stuff here. Damian Priest won. He defeated Tama Tonga. Priest went up top. He went up top. I don't know what he was going for. But Priest sent Tama Tonga over the announce. Everybody went over the announce table tonight. There was like 4 spots that people had going over the announce table. Priest sent Tama Tonga over the announce table with a pounce. He throws him back into the ring. Priest goes up top. Tama Tonga's running the ropes. The spot calls for Damian Priest standing on the top rope, Tama Tonga running the ropes and knocking Damian Priest off balance by knocking Priest off the top rope by him bouncing into the ropes. That's exactly what the spot was supposed to be. Damian Priest fell and lost his balance on his own and hung upside down on the top rope, and then Tama Tonga hit the ropes. So completely, again, out of whack. Another major miscue, and this goes to show you that WWE getting rid of the house shows is affecting everybody from veteran talent to the rookies who just got called up from NXT. You would not see something like this happen if people were in the ring more, executing and perfecting their craft. It looked silly. And it looked like 2 amateurs in the ring. So after that spot, Tama Tonga got him with a swinging neck breaker. Goes for a cover, only gets a 2 count. Tama Tonga went for a double underhook maneuver. Priest got ahead of that, and he grabbed him by the throat. Tama escaped. Rebound lariat. Straps went down. Tama Tonga took a ride south of heaven. 1, 2, 3, and Damian Priest got the win. After the match, Tama Tonga absolutely beat the shit out of Damian Priest. Solo Sikoa got Priest with the Samoan Spike. No R-Truth or Royce Keys to make the save. This is just... I mean, I am exploding with excitement, chat. I cannot wait to see this absolutely Academy Award-winning tale, this story play out over the coming weeks. The silence that the MFTs get speaks louder than anything on this show. All of this shit is fucking garbage. None of it matters and none of it's exciting. Everything that the MFTs touch, they legitimately turn to boredom. Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn is venting and complaining to somebody who we don't see. And the camera pans and sees Johnny Gargano laying on his production crate. Sami is upset about Nick Aldis calling him entitled. Sami says that this place is not what it used to be. No shit. Anybody who watches this slop at 3 hours every week can easily tell you that. This place is not what it used to be. And you know who feels it the most? Guys like Sami Zayn and Johnny Gargano. He then went on to say, remember when wrestling was a thing? Candice LeRae joins in. She says Sami is wrong. She's entitled to have a husband who's not laying down every single day. Sami says that Gargano needs to tune out the noise and remember who he is. And whatever he decides to do, he won't let anyone take that away from him. Gargano, he looks at Sami as Sami walked away, and that's the way the segment came to a close. Chat. Does WWE legitimately think this is good storytelling? Like, I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. Does someone in the back think that this is funny? That this is good storytelling? Do they even have an end goal for this? it's amazing to me how, and this is what bothers me. This is what bothers me. You know, no matter what you think of Johnny Gargano, whether you like him as a wrestler or a performer or not, Johnny Gargano is one of the best pro wrestlers in the world. He led a Triple H-led Black and Gold as the face of that brand, the heart and soul of that brand. Now, I'm not going to go back and say that Johnny Gargano needs to be booked like he was on Black and Gold. All I'm saying is that Johnny Gargano signed an extension with WWE to stay. And I'm assuming he's making some decent money, along with his wife. How do they deem this with Johnny Gargano, this story with Johnny Gargano every week where he's laying down on a crate? How do they look at this and say, this is worth the money that we are paying Johnny Gargano? And then when we come to next year's WrestleMania, and we're going into that Friday Night SmackDown after WrestleMania, and Johnny Gargano is one of the names on the budget cut list, and we all rant and rave about how they did nothing with Johnny Gargano, how are you supposed to look at Johnny Gargano and blame Johnny Gargano for this dog shit creative? There is only so much that he can do with a gimmick where he's asked to lie down every single fucking week and be a fucking mute. What's the goal? What's the end result? When will we see the end of this? How do they look at this as money well worth spent? Imagine you're spending money on Johnny Gargano, who's one of the most accomplished pro wrestlers in the fucking world, and this is what you got him doing. And they'll find a way to blame Johnny Gargano. Johnny Gargano will be the one released. But the writers who are writing this shit won't be affected. Triple H won't be affected. They'll probably just sign them to an extra 2 or 3 year contract and pay them more money to write this fucking hideous garbage for someone else. This fucking show sucks. I cannot stress that enough. Blake Monroe. Supposedly, she's got one more week of vignettes, and then we will see her debut. Good luck. Jade Cargill and the not-so-baddies. Jade comes on out. Literally no reaction. Just apathy. Apathy towards Jade Cargill. Couldn't give a single fuck about Jade Cargill. Wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up, she says. Everybody acts so tough when Jade ain't in the building, but when my music hits, everybody seems to get real quiet. Yeah, they get real quiet because nobody wants to fucking see you. They get real quiet because you're bad television. You see, Rhea Ripley found that out last week. Pressure bust pipes. And at Clash in Italy, I bust champions. The WWE Women's Championship is coming home with me. Fans boo, because nobody wants to see that. She says, boo me. I love it. But y'all know why, because I'm that bitch. Charlotte comes out. They don't want to hear you talk, babe. Alexa then says, why? Because this is Flair country. Right. Columbia. So here's the thing. Jade, we've been doing this dance for a few years now. And last week, you finally pissed me off, so let's play. So Jade says, all right, let's play. Look, the backup dancers. Where's Rhea? It's funny how somebody can talk so loud, but get so quiet when they get pump kicked in the face. Alexa then takes offense to the backup dancers line. That's funny. Hey, Jade, aren't your backup dancers supposed to make you look good? What's going on here? Actually, they're here to do her dirty work, says Charlotte. And since we have a match, I know Columbia is tired of hearing you talk. I know Lexi and I are tired of hearing you talk. And I know even your girls are tired of hearing you talk. So how about you take a seat and take some notes? Right. Take some notes. Well, why don't we get a ref out here and let's take some notes since you got so much smack to talk. And please entertain me because I'm getting quite bored of you two. They were bored well before Charlotte and Alexa hit the ringside area, Jade. Well before. Chat. This match was the never-ending match. This match was the never-ending match. I asked myself at least 2 or 3 different times, why is this match still going on? Is this match still going on? I don't believe this match is still going on. What did this accomplish? Is there a story here that I'm supposed to find excitement in? Is there some riveting fucking tale between good and bad that I'm supposed to care about here? Does anybody legitimately give a shit about this? We get this match that went almost 15 fucking minutes. So Bliss broke up a count after a big pump kick. B-Fab rolled up Flair. She got turned into a figure 8. Meechin broke up the submission. Found herself clotheslined out of the ring. Bliss blind tags as Flair delivers kicks to Meechin and B-Fab. Sister Abigail from Bliss. But Cargill pulled her out of the ring, punched her in the face, and caused the DQ. Bro, we watched this match go almost 15 minutes. For Jade to pull Alexa out of the ring and blatantly call for a DQ. So what did we need to see 2 overly terrible wrestlers wrestling in Meechin and B-Fab against Alexa and Charlotte Flair? If the end result was going to be a DQ, what did it accomplish? How did the match forward anything if this is the ending that you wanted? What was the point of the match? Well, the point of the match, JD, is to get the match at Saturday night's main event. Because, you see, Rhea Ripley, she got added to Saturday night's main event against Jade Cargill and the Baddies, JD. Wow! I can't wait to not give a shit on Saturday night. Fatal Influence. They were interviewed by Kathy Kelly backstage. Did the locker room know that Fatal Influence would be so impactful this quickly? Fallon Henley says that in this business, you're either the predator or the prey. And let's be honest, Fatal Influence is at the top of the food chain. Yes, I put my promo into ChatGPT, and this is what they told me to say. Laney Reed says that all these so-called tag teams want to act like they're best friends and that they love each other, but deep down inside, they know that no one can really stand each other. JC Jane says that Fatal Influence is a unit. Loyalty is their currency. And soon enough, let me read this as it was spit out via the AI. Fatal Influence is a unit. Loyalty is their currency. And soon enough, it's going to pay dividends when they're draped in all the gold. And as far as the women's locker room, they can take this as a warning shot. That is only a matter of time before you all fall to the feet of Fatal Influence. Bro, Fatal Influence is like that group of fucking absolute baddies in high school who bully all of the geeks and all the nerds that would rather sit and play fucking Magic the Gathering after class is over in the library. Why are we not portraying them like that? Who wrote this shit? Who wrote this shit? Does Fallon Henley speak like that in real life? I highly doubt it. In this business, you're either the predator or the prey, and let's be honest, Fatal Influence is at the top of the food chain. Who the fuck talks like that? Who? Fatal Influence is a unit. Loyalty is their currency. Oh my God. Oh my God, man. This show is fucking absolute fucking garbage, man. I swear to God. I swear to God, this show sucks. This show sucks. Oh. You know, why isn't Fatal Influence, now that I'm thinking about it, why isn't Fatal Influence on Saturday night's main event against Rhea, Charlotte, and Alexa? Do we really need Jade Cargill and the baddies, the not-so-baddies, on Saturday? At least with Fatal Influence, we get somewhat of an entertaining match. Nah, we'll just make Saturday night even less watchable. When is that Ronda Rousey fight? Next Saturday? Or is it this Saturday? What is it? Is it tomorrow? Charlotte Flair. She's talking with Alexa Bliss. Charlotte says she's tolerated Rhea Ripley last week, and she's really trying her best to be a team player. But where was Rhea tonight? Alexa says that was her bad. They're outnumbered with the Irresistible Forces, Fatal Influence, and Jade Cargill's crew. Charlotte says they've been outnumbered for 6 months. Charlotte says that she's not a need help type of person. Bliss knows that, but they're still outnumbered, and Rhea owes them one. Again, I don't know why Fatal Influence is not in that match. It's tomorrow night, huh? I may have to watch that. JD, give us the robot one more time. In this business, you are either predator or prey, and let's be honest, Fatal Influence is at the top of the food chain. Solo Sikoa. He runs into Royce Keys as he's preparing for tonight's main event. Solo tells Royce that he can help him beat Gunther tonight and help him become the WWE champion. Solo says that Royce shouldn't be listening to Jacob Fatu. He should be listening to him. Solo and Royce can be taking over everything on SmackDown. And he would hate to see whatever happened to Shinsuke happen to Royce. Royce tells Solo that he's got this. It's funny to Solo because Jacob Fatu said the same thing. Oh, man. Next week they announced. I mean, how could anybody dare to miss this one, folks? Next week they announced Shinsuke Nakamura will go one-on-one with Tola Tonga next week on Friday Night SmackDown. Oh, man. Man, let me drop that date. Let me drop Drink with the Fellas. Let me just fucking bypass everything else, man, that I got going on in my life. I gotta watch Tola Tonga versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Saturday night's main event, Penta will be defending his IC title against Ethan Page. The Vision will be defending their tag team titles against the Street Profits. Plus, we're getting Rhea Ripley, Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss versus Jade Cargill, Michin, and B-Fab in a 6-woman tag team match. And Lash Legend already said that the winners, whoever they may be, coming out of the tag team title match Monday, will be defending the titles against Nia and Lash Legend at Saturday night's main event. Boy, this may be one of the worst Saturday night's main events that we've gotten. It's like they don't even care anymore. Main event. Gunther. He goes one-on-one with powerhouse Royce Keys. We'll pick it up after the commercial break here. Keys and Gunther had a decent match. I have not liked what Royce Keys has produced here in WWE. I think he's missing a step or two, just from what I gather. After watching him 6 years in AEW, I think he's actually missed a step or two. Keys attempts a suplex on Gunther. Chops by Gunther in retaliation. Keys goes for another suplex. He got it. Gunther got back on it with a knee to the midsection. More hard chops to the chest. Goes for a cover off the chops. Near fall. Keys was then thrown out of the ring by Gunther. He ends up mocking the South Carolina crowd. Steps on the apron. Gunther attempted a big boot from the apron. Keys caught him and dropped him for 3 world strongest slams onto the announce desk. This company has a fetish with the announce table. Everything is the announce table. We go back in the ring. Gunther caught Keys with a big boot. He missed with another big strike. Keys got a little bit of an opening, but he got dropped by a Gunther King Kong lariat. So Gunther tried to go to the top. He was sent back down with a Keys superplex off the top rope for a near fall. So they both get back to their feet. Gunther caught Keys with a sleeper. He brought him down. Solo Sikoa all of a sudden appears at ringside, and he starts being the hype man now for Royce Keys. Solo seemed to distract Gunther, though, which allowed Keys to escape the hold, and then he took out Gunther with a flying clothesline. Keys, he took out Gunther with a big lariat. He goes for another cover, gets a 2 count. So Keys put Gunther on his shoulders. Gunther slips out. Keys is once again in the sleeper hold. He fought out of it. He freed himself. He pounced Gunther into the referee, which allowed Solo to grab a steel chair and give it to Royce Keys. So Royce Keys looked at the chair, and he threw the chair at Solo Sikoa, saying, "No, I will not use this." This actually opened him up to lose the match, because after this, Gunther clotheslined him down. Powerbomb, 1, 2, 3. Gunther wins. He's the number 1 contender. And he gets Cody Rhodes at Clash in Italy for the WWE Championship. After the match, Gunther was holding the camera, taunting the camera. Cody Rhodes comes on out. He delivers a crossroads to Gunther and ends the show with him lying on the mat after a crossroads. And SmackDown mercifully comes to an end. The only redeeming thing about this show, in the 3 hours that I watched and another 2 hours here that I reviewed it, Carmelo Hayes is back on television. Outside of that, I cannot find one fucking thing about this show and Trick Williams' reaction from the South Carolina crowd. I can't find one fucking thing about this show that is even remotely interesting. At all. That's your Friday Night SmackDown review. Boring! Thank you guys very much for joining me here on this Friday night. Tonight we're powered by Weight Loss by Hims. Absolutely. Everybody's going through the goddamn table. Everybody. We saw it on Monday night. Jacob Fatu put Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso through the timekeeper's barricade. But before that, he put Roman through the table. It wasn't even the impact of Jacob Fatu going through the timekeeper's barricade. It was the fact that Jacob Fatu looked like he could have did it all over again. Immediately after it was over. The man hit those three like a Samoan bulldozer with unlimited stamina. Roman wanted Jacob Fatu to acknowledge him. Meanwhile, Jacob's out there looking like the final boss of human conditioning. And let's be honest, everybody watching that segment had the same thought. Yeah, I got to get my life together. Because most of us aren't built like Jacob Fatu, throwing grown men through furniture on national television. The reality is losing weight and staying consistent is hard. Everybody's got goals, but actually sticking to those goals long enough to see the results, that's the challenge. That's why weight loss by Hims is worth looking into. Hims now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill at its lowest price ever, and also the Wegovy pen. And what's great is they make the process simple. Everything happens online. You connect with a licensed provider who determines if treatment is right for you, and if prescribed, your medication gets delivered right to your front door. No insurance needed, no awkward waiting rooms, no standing there explaining your life story while daytime television blasts in the background. And Hims gives you more than just the medication, too. You get access to 24/7 messaging with your care team, meal plans, recipes, fitness videos, sleep support, real tools designed to help you stay on track. Consistency matters. Jacob Fatu didn't wake up one morning looking like he could destroy 3 generations of the bloodline at once. That takes discipline. Now listen up. Are you ready to reach your goals? If you are, visit hims.com/script to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's hims.com/script. Once again, that's hims.com/scripts. This is based on advertised cash price for 30-day supply of medication only. Membership is required, fee not included, and billed separately. Weight loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. And to start and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, please visit hims.com. Man, these shows put me in a bad mood, man, I tell you. These shows put me in a bad fucking mood. Super chats, let's get into them. Tone VC with a $2 super chat. He leaves me the metal horn emojis. Thank you, Tone C. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JDOTS, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Joseph Taylor with a $17 super chat. JD, were you ever a fan of these rock bands that formed in the late 90s, early 2000s? Fireball Mystery Project. Egyptian Central. And the Dillinger Escape Plan. No. The only one I've heard of and never heard any music was the Dillinger Escape Plan. Emperor Immortal Phoenix with a recommitment to the VIP club. Thank you, Emperor. Yo, boy, Pete with a $19.99. SmackDown might be a mess, but the one thing they're doing right is Trick. Regardless how anyone may feel about the gingerbread stuff, Trick is being treated as a star. Closing SmackDown last week and opening this week. Caden with a $1.99. No message. Joseph Taylor with a $2 super chat. SmackDown is boring. Fast Eddie with a $9.99. JD, glad you saw Alter Bridge over the week. Saw them back in 2007 when they put out Blackbird, their second album. Always been a Mark Tremonti fan. Success is always for you, brother. Thank you, Fast Eddie. Believe it or not, almost 20 years later, Tremonti is even better than he was in 2007. Boomstick with a $10 super chat. I saw Alter Bridge tonight in Syracuse, New York. First time seeing them since 2005. Watch Over You and Blackbird are my two favorite songs. They play live. Watch Over You is excellent because Miles usually does it acoustically. Blackbird is excellent. My experience with them has always been incredible. They played the title track off their Fortress album, which is one of their best songs ever. Tremendous. I love Find the Real and Open Your Eyes. I think those two songs are some of my favorites that they play live. I'm glad you guys are actually enjoying what they do live. They are an incredible live band. Crazy Fists with a 20. I'm thinking of buying either Jordan Air Force 1 white or Nike Sabrina 3 teal and black. Bro, I wanted these Air Force 1 Max Atlanta Braves City Connection Nikes that they just released this week. Bro, I couldn't find them. I didn't know where to go for them online. I didn't know if anybody was selling them. They were going for 150. Now I think they're on StockX for like 220. I'm like, bro, if anybody's got a hookup, man, I would love for you to reach out to me. The Air Max 1 Atlanta Braves City Connect Nikes. If anybody's got a connection, let me know. I would love a 9.5, please. Triple M, have I heard Slave to Master live yet? No. From their Facebook fan page, I think I read somewhere that the boys were actually rehearsing it to play it live, and Tremonti, before the album came out, said that it's going to be a monster live. So I know that they're planning to play it live. When and where, I don't know. But it wasn't at my show, unfortunately. Nike says they're restocking soon, huh? The teal and black Crazy Fist sounds really nice, man. I like those colors. CM Punk fan with a $10 super chat. I miss SmackDown. How bad was it? Awful. Killer Pa with a super chat. Why can't we get someone like Gargano for Trick? Because the company is fucking clueless. That's why. The Paul and David channel with a new membership. Well, thank you, Paul and David. It's Abdi with a $9.99. You're back and forth with TJ on X was more entertaining than this boring SmackDown. Bet what you drive is better than whatever rinky-dink TJ drives. OTS for life. Well, I mean, I don't run the Pro Wrestling Unlimited YouTube channel where he went live to what? 40 people tonight. Oh, I look like a JD looks like a geek in his fake car. Oh, that's right, man. Yeah, let me pump some fucking thousands upon thousands of dollars into my obviously superior production value, which is legitimately my real car that's sitting right underneath me right now. I'm sorry, Tim. Tim probably drives a fucking beat-up white Subaru or a Kia. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. What the fuck is the creative endgame with Johnny Gargano? This is becoming ridiculous. The endgame is Captain Solo budget cut. That's what's happening. You're seeing it firsthand. Also with a 5, who will go on to be the bigger star in WWE, Ethan Page or Ricky Saints? Ethan Page. Triple M with a 2. Enjoy your weekend, JD, and all of the OTS family. You too, brother. Oh, he drives a Toyota Corolla. Cool. Walker Stubbs with a $4.99. The first words I hear when I join the stream is fucking garbage. I don't know how else to put it. Gold Standard with a $5 super chat. Gunther and Cody should be a good match, but it will probably end up in a crazy finish. I think Gunther should win clean. Yeah, I don't know what they do. With this creative team and how awful they are, man, they'll botch it some way. And yes, it's going to be a good match because both guys are great at what they do. Lucha Trooper with a $10 super chat. Glad you enjoyed Alter Bridge, JD. Not bragging, just excited. I got Trivium, Iron Maiden, all in. And finally, the Fellowship of the Ring at O2 Arena. Giant screen with full live orchestra. Trivium is excellent live. I think Wolfgang and Mammoth just announced they're playing UBS Arena on August 12th. It's a Tuesday, so I probably won't go because I don't want to miss Tuesday Night Titans, but also Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen, excellent live show. Tremendous. Harpreet with a $6.99. Hey, JD, Edge and Y2J are my two favorites ever. Where would you rank them amongst all-time greats? Also, highly recommend watching Peaky Blinders. I've heard from people I know that Peaky Blinders is a decent show. Where would I rank Edge and Y2J? I would say Y2J top 20. Edge probably top 22. Both in the top 20. Anybody got the Ring of Honor results? Did Athena retain her title or did she lose the title now that she's in the Owen? Or did Tony laughably continue to keep that title on her that will be watched by nobody? Emoji Matt with a 20. I haven't watched a full WWE show since they moved to Netflix. I no longer use streaming, so all I ever get are YouTube clips. You Solo. I was mad at my cat when she ate my TV cord. After hearing this stuff, I'm going to buy my cat a cake. That's fucking ridiculous. I don't think cats can consume that type of sugar, Emoji Matt. You better be careful. Don Stoney with a $2 super chat. JD, that robot needs some reverb. Stoney. Yeah, I gotta work on that, Don. Also, $5 super chat. Shout out to Don Tony, Wrestling Soup, Spitball Media, and as always, R.I.P. Kevin Castle. You know, I thought of Kevin today, man. Anthrax just released their new single. They got a new album finally coming out in September. This is for the kids, I think it's called. Good shit, man. It warms my heart to see some of the old school guys from the 80s still fucking thrashing as hard as they are. Love me some good old classic Anthrax. Kevin would have loved it. Craig with the 34 months. Great as always. JD always delivers. Have you ever listened to 10mm? No. I don't know what that is or who that is. Thomas with 33 months. JD, what do you think of the new Megadeth album? I'm going to see Megadeth one last time to say thank you and farewell to Dave and the band. It was all right. I would say it was like a 5.5 out of 10. I felt like the production was too thin, and I felt like it wasn't ballsy enough. It was definitely written by a bunch of guys, or in this case, Dave Mustaine, and it felt like their last album. It felt like a band that doesn't really have anything else more to give. Joseph Taylor with a $10 super chat. JD, the other band is called Project 86. They have a couple of things on SmackDown vs. Raw 2008, video game soundtrack. Put Your Lips to the TV and Evil, a Chorus of Renaissance. I appreciate the recommendations, Joseph. I think I'm going to take a pass on that one. And Hardy Punk with a 15 months. What would be a realistic escalation scenario on WWE? Major shift is coming. Kayfabe is dying. How will the industry save his soul? Love JD, OTS for life. A realistic escalation scenario would be the current writing team and administration getting fucking completely booted out of the company. A major shakeup creatively needs to happen. And I'm not holding my breath for that happening. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight during this deplorable program. We'll try again next week. What can I tell you? You guys should see me in the sub boxes at some point this weekend, man. We'll get some content out on something. Go check out my sponsor for tonight's show, man. Hims, weight loss by Hims. Hims.com/scripts. Continue to hit that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. And while you're at it, go get yourself a t-shirt. Go get yourself a t-shirt. Fourthwall.com is the official home of all TNT and OTS merchandise. And again, go check the content out on the channel. If you missed Tuesday Night Titans last night, we were live on Thursday night because I was away on Tuesday, so we did it on Thursday instead. So if you guys are wondering where that show is, it's there. Go check that out. Until this weekend, guys, I'll see you in the sub boxes. Next time you see me live will be on Monday for what I'm assuming will be another boring week of WWE television, man. Until then, guys, have a good night, and I'll see you later.